All right, welcome to our latest Swampcast. Robbie, Andreu, and Pat Dooley, the Gainesville Sun. We're going to talk about Troy, not Troy Bolton from High School Musical, but the Troy University.
You know that?
I do know that.
Oh, boy.
I got an 8-year-old. I know all about it.
Was that High School Musical 4 or 5?
I've seen, no, 1, 2, and 3. I've seen them all. But Troy, this is the Troy Trojans, and of course Florida played them a couple of years ago. They actually scored a lot of points, 31 I think it was.
Yeah, lit them up in the second half. Florida couldn't stop their passing game.
They couldn't, and it was funny because Tebow was talking about his former teammate who's a wide receiver.
Savoy.
Yeah, texted him and said, I scored 2 touchdowns in the Swamp.
He caught in the second half, and he texted him and mouthed off. So
Tebow had to say, well, I scored 28 touchdowns in the Swamps. How about that? But it'll be interesting from this aspect. Troy will throw the ball around. They like to pass the ball. They don't have much of a running game. And I think they threw for over 300 yards against Bowling Green. Now, in that game, Robbie, they started out 14-0. It looks great. They're supposed to be the preseason Sun Belt favorite, and they got blitzed the rest of the way.
Yeah, they threw all over them. Bowling Green had a real good offensive game plan, Urban was saying the other day, and they lit them up for like 350 yards passing and got a big pick in the fourth quarter and turned a close game into a 31-14.
Made it, yeah,
kind of a little bit of a stunner.
Yeah, it was. I remember seeing the score, and you're like, whoa, where'd that come from? They've had some suspensions and some guys who are academically ineligible, and that's part of the problem defensively for Troy. In fact, from what I understand, we're not going to be able to see one of the great names in all of football.
We'll see the name, but not the player.
Bear Wolf is one of their linebackers.
I thought it was Bear Woods.
Bear Woods, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you're right.
Bear in the woods.
He plays the wolf position. That's what it is. Okay. Bear Woods, yes, and we know what bears do in the woods. But
especially if you're playing the wolf position.
Exactly. So he's on a 2-game suspension, so he misses this game as well. I liked Larry Blakeney the other day. He's actually a pretty good coach, and he was talking about we're playing the best team in the country with the best player in the country and the best coach in America. So it doesn't look good for Troy, but we'll see how it all works out for Florida. Obviously, this is the last real dress rehearsals I wrote in my column for Saturday's paper for the Gators before next week, opening night, really, when you think about Tennessee.
But, the good thing about this game is, last week there was no challenge physically from the team they played. This one, Meyer was saying they have some SEC caliber talent, especially like on the defensive front. So that's going to help them get ready for SEC a week from today or a week from Saturday against Tennessee. It's a little bit more competitive. They need that right now.
He keeps talking about SEC talent and NFL prospects. I want to see them. I find that hard to believe on draft day they're going to be going, and hey, there's a run on Troy players. Because I saw that team that came here 2 years ago. They weren't bad. And the one, like you said, Robbie, one good thing is it is a step up.
Yeah.
It's not a step sideways or down. They're going from a really bad team to a mediocre team. And then, of course, next week, your Vols.
Yeah, but at least Florida fans on this one will get to see what the team looks like. Last week they did nothing.
No.
Two sets on offense, 2 on defense. Charlie Strong was talking about the other day that they really didn't do anything. He called 2 blitzes the whole game, which is totally unlike Charlie Strong. And we didn't really see what Florida's going to look like. You'll see more of that this week.
Now, was he calling Miami's defensive fronts too? Because they didn't blitz the whole game.
We could have called those. They just
4-man
straight up
rush
defense
with 2 defensive ends out, and we'll get into that some other time. But well, it'll be fun to have a noon game and get home. We get a lot of football that night, Robbie. South Carolina, Georgia. You've got LSU, Vandy, and I think Vandy might give them a game.
I've said the same thing. If they can score enough points, they have a chance. That's a tough game for LSU, I think. Kind of a trap game.
And, of course, USC against the mighty Terrell Pryor. And
he's your boy now.
No, he's
you love
not.
That guy.
No, he is off my list after that little episode. But, hey, we'll see. We'll watch that game. I appreciate the SEC giving us a 12-21 game.
Yeah,
12-21 precisely now. It's kickoff, in case you're wondering.
It's going to be hot in the Swamp, though.
It will be hot, and we'll be joining you after the hot game. Until then, don't forget, turn on the Pat Dooley Show. You can click it on at Gatorsports.com, and also you can follow me now. I'm on Twitter. I know. Technology, I'm catching up with everything. The last guy to ever do it. No, you're the last guy.
I'm the last guy.
That's
but at least I have a tape recorder, a digital tape recorder.
He does, yeah, so he's way ahead of me. Twitter.com/Pat_Dooley if you want to follow me. And I'll tell you about my fantasy football draft last night. How's that? You
That's
can't wait
exciting.
for that. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Till then, Pat Dooley, Robbie Andreu saying so long from the Sunshine State.